We're here today with Lorne Warner, President and CEO of Tarachi Gold Corp. Lorne, it's good to have you here today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, you have a new property that you're developing up in the Mulatos mining district in Sonora. Could you tell us a little bit about Tarachi Gold, about your background, about the team you're working with?
I joined Tarachi in early this spring, actually. I was working for some other people previously, and they talked to me about it, and I checked it out. I have worked a lot internationally, and one
Right.
of the key things to look at is good management in the country that you're in. A very seasoned exploration team that we'd have down in Mexico, very quite well experienced at how to operate in Mexico. They know a lot of people. They have been able to get us drill permits in record time. The negotiations with the landowners. I was told when I first started with the company that it may take up to 4 months to get this all done before you could think about drilling. Which first, when I heard 4 months, I thought, well, I'm from Canada and I live in BC, so 4 months is quite good. But
Yeah.
they were able to get it within just over a month. We had all our permits in place. I was amazed.
Yeah. Actually, the permitting process is pretty fluid here in Mexico. It works pretty well.
Well, there was two processes that I understood. Well, the main thing is the environmental for the drilling permit, and that can go fairly quickly. Once you get all your work done in the field and all the proper maps and everything else, can take just like a month. But
Right.
it's dealing with the landowners and the people around there, that negotiations when they have their committee meetings and things like that, and getting it all resolved can take several months. And I was forewarned it could take up to 3-4 months to have that done. But in this
Yeah.
case, they knew the people, they knew who to talk to, and it was organized very quickly.
Oh, that's excellent, and especially during the situation where we're going through the pandemic right now, and the government offices are very low on staff. I think
Yes.
we're still waiting for them to put the website online where you can see the mining concessions.
You, but you should say that, because I was trying to look the other day, and yeah, that was hard. That's not too bad for me.
Yeah. Well, so how did you come to acquire the Tarachi property? I know you said you met the team here in Mexico, but how did you learn about this project?
Well, they had started to assemble it previously. We look at it this way, years ago, if you said you had a gold property and you want to do exploration, let's say 2-3 years ago, everyone would say, forget it. No, no, I'm not going to give you any money for that. It just wasn't there.
Right.
Money was going into blockchain, going into marijuana stocks and everything else, the venture capital money. So that was a very dry period. And the management we have down here and the people they knew, they just worked at acquiring these properties, getting to know the people, knowing full well what's going to happen, that the gold market it will come back. And what's been happening with the governments and the world and everything else, even before Corona, you could you could see that the gold market was about to come on,
Yeah.
and that this will be a very good market for us this time.
Right. No, and especially with all of the trillions of dollars that have been injected into the markets, I guess there's more capital available. Plus, it's devaluating the dollar and pushing the price of gold up.
Yes, people that I've listened to for years, they're talking about sort of near term gold price of possibly like $3,000 US, say
Right.
near term, with the next year or two.
Well, we've been waiting for this for about 20 some years, so
Yes, we have.
let's just hope that this lasts for a few years.
Oh, I think it's going to be quite a good one for us. This will be my third time with these big gold rallies, and this one has, if you want to talk about ingredients, has got all of them. So
Yeah.
it could be a very good one for us.
Well, could you tell us a little more about the Tarachi project? This is an exciting project. It's up in the heart of the Mulatos district. There's the Jabali concessions, which is the southern part of your property.
Yes.
I know that Agnico Eagle reported that there could be a resource on the scale of the Mulatos mine on these concessions. Or?
Yes, well, one of the reasons again was the geology we'd seen. I like properties. Like, I used to work for Placer Dome. I worked for them sort of in different parts of Canada and States. Since then, I had worked around the world. I spent about 6 years in Africa, a couple of years in Papua New Guinea. And I came to appreciate it, especially in the time when I also spent about 5 years in Timmins. There's a major gold mining camp. So you go to step in there and you think, man, anything that looks good has probably been drilled and drilled a lot, and they found everything. I found out that's just not the case at all. And that was when I was young in my career, and everywhere else I've stepped to is the same thing. So I've come to the point where I like properties, what we have down in Mexico, where you've had some systematic exploration, and you got to the point where you have some drilling, exploration drilling, poking with your drill, looking to see if there's something there. And they were very successful. These projects that we acquired down there where they have some great intercepts. I look at those intercepts so that they see through there is looking at more high grade structural. I mean, we have some good intercepts, some of these properties where you're looking at half ounce material over drill lengths of 3 to 5 meters.
Sure.
Can't beat that.
No, that's definitely nice to find. How much historic drilling has been done on this property?
What I find very interesting, and the southern property where we're going to start drilling, hopefully the drill will start turning tomorrow, is that the interpretation, but we've been working on, we've spent the last 2 months with some very detailed geological mapping, lithological, structural, and taking a lot of samples as well with a saw, take good channel samples. We took our time. And what we noticed is a lot of people for example, that property, there's a dominant north-south structure. So a lot of people drilled east-west.
Right.
But in my latest news release, if you look at the map where we did the sampling, a lot of the samples or a lot of the zones that we encountered and mapped are trending east-west. So if you're drilling east-west, you're either going to go down it or you're going to miss them.
Right.
And so I think there's like maybe 1 or 2 holes that we see that came close to drilling proper orientation. So that makes it exciting. Again, that's my sort of theme. When you look at properties, when people do some systematic exploration and you get some information, it helps you put that puzzle together, right? Because you know from what the locals had gone in and mined underground, we mapped so we can clearly see the orientation of these structures, the spreadsheeted quartz that is basically trending almost east-west and dipping steeply to the south.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So you have the cross-cutting structures going there.
Our first view on a lot of the properties that we have right now, we're looking for intersecting structures, for example, in the zones being in close proximity to those features. That's a very common application to look for. Ladora down to the south there, we mapped underground. We published our results last week. They were very good. But what we noticed is this north-south structure to the east of it, we have very good east-west trending mineralization. To the west, we don't. It ends right there. And we're thinking more along the line of maybe 2 strike slip structures, and these veins represent the deformation, brittle deformation occurring between them.
Okay. Well, I suppose you probably have to cross either La India or Mulatos property to get to your project.
Mulatos, we can see in from the hill. It's like right there.
Right there, yeah.
6 kilometers, I think, by air, we can see from the pit.
Okay. Well, what do you see as the potential size of this project at this early stage of exploration?
Boy, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I know it's tough to say, but what is your feeling for this?
Well, I would like to, on this project and the other ones, focus on the higher grade structural mineralization for the gold. I think we can find probably a fair bit of half ounce or better material, as an example, and some of these structures. And so then you're sort of looking for, high grade, lower tonnage scenario where, and you don't have to, and we go underground. Like I said, I've got years of experience underground. We probably don't have to put a big shaft in because things aren't going to be that deep, but we can certainly not put much of a scar on the environment if we find things such as that, where most of our work will be underground. Having said that, the geologists have come up on these properties, and again, like I say, with systematic exploration and everything else done in the past, yet they come back and say, hey, we've found this big shear zone and it looks like, and working through on that. So there's a lot of potential on these properties. I think even though they've been explored in the past, and this is classic for exploration, you're still got good chance of finding things where people have worked before.
Yeah. Well, the Tarachi project's actually kind of scattered across that trend there. They're not all contiguous claims.
Correct. It was just where, again, people have worked in the past where they had some good results, gold, that they were able to grab the concessions from there and put them all into Tarachi Gold Corp.
Okay. Well, I guess we've got some exciting news coming up shortly here. You just got a drill rig showing up to the site. Is that right?
Yes, the drill's been assembled. We're hoping that it might actually start turning around tomorrow night. Let's just give it another day. And then, yes, we're going to be going at it. We expect the drill to continue working on well, he's going to work on all the properties. We're looking at drilling probably all the way into November.
Sure. Is this a man-portable equipment or?
Most of our drilling, it's a decent size. We got several different rigs to choose from. We're underground right now with the first rig, and then the rest of it will be surface drills. We're going to be testing with a diamond drill on everything, HQ size core, right, based on the history of what we see around through there and when some of the properties that it's critical that we go to a larger size diameter to ensure good recoveries.
Okay, so you actually have decent access to bring in the larger equipment.
Yes. Well, in the areas that we're testing right now, there are some exploration targets that we've reviewed we think are very interesting. Stratigraphy, you have the structures coming through and maybe crossing one, but there's never been a drill hole there. It's maybe undercover a little bit, but you look at it and exactly what we were discussing about earlier, you're looking at the topography going,
yes,
how do we do it?
It's always a challenge, but that's what makes this type of a project a fun job to do.
It is.
Well, Lorne, well, thanks a lot. I guess we'll stay tuned and we'll wait for your drill results and see how things are going. Maybe we can get caught up on the new discoveries that I hope to see out of this project.
Well, I hope that assays will start pouring back in, and within, let's say, 4 weeks, compile. We got to figure out what we got. And yes, yeah. I think lots of news will be coming out, and it's going to be exciting times for Tarachi.
All right, Lorne. Well, thanks a lot for joining us today, and have a great day.
Douglas, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Take care.